Hello, everybody, and welcome to Math 267, Differential Equations. I wanted to give you all a quick little tour of our Canvas classroom to make sure that you know exactly where everything is located, what the expectations are, and how you can navigate around to find the things that you need to complete for this course. Just a quick introduction. My name is Sandra Hatch. I will be your instructor over the course of this class. And my email address is shatch@nvcc.edu. So if you have any questions, concerns, anything like that, please feel free to reach out to me. That email address is also in the syllabus, which we'll look at here in a moment as we go through this course overview. So what you're looking at here is the home page. So every time you log into the class, this is what you'll see. You'll see there's a few navigation buttons here. You can go to the Getting Started tab here. You can go directly to our learning modules and then also our proctored assessments. You can get to all of this stuff as well from the left-hand pane over here, and I will walk you through how to do that. So just a brief little thing here, how you can navigate the course, course introduction, that sort of stuff. And then down here, if you do have any technical issues, you can reach out to the Nova Online IT support. Though I can help you with the math related concepts, technology isn't necessarily my forte, so I'll leave that to the online IT support. Okay, so getting started here, you can see that you have a to-do list over here. So all the items that are assigned and due or upcoming, you can see those due dates there in that right-hand column. So we're just going to kind of take a quick tour through most of these tabs over here on the left. So the first one is announcements. So you'll notice that there are two announcements. Once you gain access to the course, you'll see that there are two, and there will probably be three at that point because I'll post this video as an announcement as well. So there's a welcome to the course, kind of just gives you a little bit about myself and what, this course is about. The one I want to draw your attention to is the Module 1 notes. Each week, I will post a Module 1 or a module notes. It'll kind of tell us what we're doing this week. So it'll tell you what you need to read material wise to cover. And then I will lay out what our objectives are here. I also each week will give you example problems. So this is an asynchronous class. So we don't have any synced up lectures. But what I will do each week is work anywhere from 10 to 15 of the problems that are in your textbook that I think are relevant, that will help you. If you work through those, practice those, know them, how to work them inside and out, you should have the sufficient knowledge for the handwritten quizzes as well as the midterm and final exam. Okay, so again, I would encourage you to watch these videos. I think this first one was a little over an hour, but I worked through those 15 problems with you. Okay, and so I've laid those out here. So from chapter 1, section 1, there's 5 problems, and then down with the rest of the way. Okay, so just again, foot stomp, encourage you to watch these videos. I think you will find them very beneficial, not only for your homework, but for the quizzes and the exams as well. Okay. And then right here, you'll notice in bold, this is not a self-paced course. You will have homework assignments due, you have due dates, you'll have exams, those will have due dates. And it's really important that you adhere to those because late work is not accepted. And just as late quizzes, late exams, all of that are not accepted. So make sure that you're staying on top of the work and getting it completed on time. You can subscribe to the Ask My Professor discussion board. So I've created, and when we get to that discussion board tab, we'll talk about it a little bit more. But there's a discussion board out there that if you have questions and, rather than emailing it to me, if you post them in that discussion board, then other students get the benefit of seeing what the response is, right? Because if you're asking the question, it's possible that others have the same. Okay. And then at the end of each weekly announcement, I will tell you what is due and by what date. And so as you can see here, by the end of this week, so June 23rd, you need to have completed the following 3 homework assignments in WebAssign, as well as there's a quiz. So each module has or each chapter has a quiz inside of WebAssign. In addition to that, you have a handwritten quiz that you will have to do in Canvas each week as well. Okay. And then there are additional assignments that'll be due on this first week. I'll get to that with the discussion board because we have an introductory discussion board that will be due earlier than Sunday. Okay. And we'll get to that in a moment. So we have our syllabus. Okay, so you can come in here, you see it's math 267 differential equations. It is for the summer of 2024. You can read about the course descriptions, the prerequisites, all of that. What our class is about. So this is first order differential equations. You're going to look at that. You're going to look at number approximations, and then we're also going to look at higher order differential equations. So for this course, being a 3 credit hour course, depending on how you slice it up, chop it up, it's roughly 6-7 weeks of class time. If you think about from start to finish. So you want to look at this to kind of get an idea. You're probably going to spend somewhere between 15 and 20 hours per week on homework. Okay. If you really want to learn the material, you're going to have to invest the time because it's such a compressed, condensed timeline. It's going to be almost a part-time job to keep up with the homework and make sure you're learning the material enough to where you can pass the assessments. Okay, you can come here, read about the technical requisites that are required for the course. Here's our textbook. So we're using the 9th edition of Dennis Zill's differential equations with boundary value problems. And you have to purchase the Cengage Unlimited. Okay. And so you can, when you purchase, when you gain access to the Cengage Classroom, you get a digital copy of the textbook. And so you don't actually have to purchase a hard copy of the textbook. You can use a basic handheld calculator, scientific. You may not use graphing calculators or mobile devices or anything like that for the assessments. Your assessments are proctored with the lockdown browser. So it would be beneficial to you not to practice using a method of that you can't use on your homework, like on the exam, try not to use it on the homework, right? Because you don't want to become dependent on something that you can't have for the exams. All right. And then how the course is graded. There are the three exams. So exam one, exam two, and then exam three. So essentially, exam three is comprehensive. And it covers what's on chapter or exam one and exam two. That's 60% of your grade. You must have a 60% overall exam average in order to pass the class. Okay. Your quizzes are 20% of the grade. That includes the handwritten quizzes as well as the WebAssign Cengage quizzes. The homework that you complete is going to be 15% of your grade, and then your syllabus, quiz, and self-introduction is 5% of your overall grade. Okay. The grade breakdown is our standard, 90s are A, 80s are a B, and so on. You are expected to be active in the course each week. You need to sign into the class at least 3 times a week and to work and make progress on that, the coursework. As I already mentioned, late work is not accepted, so make sure you're getting your work turned in on time. Here's the incomplete policy. If you find that that is something that you come across that you may need to request. And if you need to withdraw from the course, if you do so before the refund date, then you can get a full refund. If you do it after that day, but before the last day to withdraw, you will get a W on your transcript, but at least you won't receive an F. And then if you don't participate, and we'll show you those course critical due dates. If you don't participate by that due date, then I will have to have you removed from the course for inactivity. Okay. Here's your student rights and responsibilities, making sure we have academic integrity. We're adults. We need to make sure that we uphold the integrity of our school. And so we want to make sure that you are doing your own work and you're not doing other students' work, because cheating isn't just receiving answers, but it's also giving answers. So you want to make sure that you are doing your own work and only your work. So there are, like I mentioned, 3 exams. So there's the 2 proctored exams and the proctored cumulative final. You have homework that you complete through WebAssign. You also have those quizzes, which are both WebAssign and handwritten, turned in through Canvas. Okay. Here's a little bit you could read about taking the proctored exams through the lockdown browser. And so you can read about that. And here's some instructions, a link to downloading the Respondus lockdown browser so that you can be ready and prepared. In email, when you write emails, make sure that you're using your Nova student email to have correspondence with me. If you don't, it's possible that that your email would get sent to my junk mail or my spam folder. And so I don't check that on a regular. So if you send me an email and I haven't responded to you within 24 to 48 hours, then make sure and send it again. Make sure you're sending it from your Nova email address. Nova does provide free online tutoring. And so here's some information on how to get to the free online tutoring, and then the different resources. So you can access Microsoft Office products through Nova and so forth. There's career services. So you could scroll through here and see. This is a strictly online class, so we don't need to have an emergency plan to escape the building or anything like that. But if you want to look at Nova's emergency preparedness plan, you can do so on their website. If you have accommodations and you have the letter from the disability office, please make sure you share that with me so that I can provide those accommodations for you from day one, to make sure that you are getting the most out of our class. Here's, in addition to, what has been listed above, you can come here, look at, the NOVA online policies and procedures as well. And then finally, here is a list of all of the different, items that'll be due. You can see, so this Thursday, as I mentioned, we have some initial things that are due. You need to have that initial post in our discussion board completed by Thursday, the 20th at 11:59 p.m. And then the rest of the assignments you'll start the being due on Sunday. Okay. Now let's look at our modules. So up at the top is our proctored assessment. So this is where you will come in here to take the integrity quiz. That's basically saying that you agree to do your own work and not cheat. So you'll complete these in order as they go and stuff. So you'll want to make sure and go through this whole list, just to make sure you're prepared for the quizzes and the exam. Then there's a section here for where to get started. There's a welcome, there's meet your, your faculty. You can kind of work through this list. You'll access your WebAssign from here. There is this syllabus quiz here that you have to continue. You have to take this quiz. You want to get 100 on it so that you can get the credit for it. Okay. All right. And then the textbook, PowerPoint presentations, you can look at those here for each of the modules. And then when we get into module 1, which is what we're going to cover the first week of class, each module has an overview, it has instructional material. And then this is your WebAssign assignments. You can see that, but when you click on this, that actually takes you to the WebAssign page where you can complete those. So you'll see you have 1.1, 1.2, and 1.3 homeworks, as well as a WebAssign quiz, as well as this one that says, so the WebAssign quiz, this is the one that'll take you out there to WebAssign. So it's set up a little bit wonky. They both have the same, but you'll notice one of them has no points assigned to it. One of them has the points. So this is the points that are assigned because you actually go out in WebAssign, complete the quiz. And then you'll have a handwritten quiz here as well. And you'll need to upload that work into here so that I could grade your work. Okay. And then there's modules 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you'll see that takes us to the end of the semester. Okay. So 6 modules. We have discussions, as I mentioned. You can come in here to the Ask the Professor. So this is where you can come to post any course related questions that you might have. Okay, that initial introduction forum, that is right here. So what you need to do is to come in here. What is your name, your location? I do not want you to put your actual physical location. It's sufficient to say, I live in Arlington, or I'm in, wherever, right? I might be in DC or wherever it is that you stay. We may have some out of state people. That's okay. Just put what is your general location, not specific location. I want you to tell us why you're taking this class and then something interesting about yourself. Okay. in addition to your initial post, you have to respond to at least 2 of your peers. It needs to be a meaningful and relevant response. So it is not sufficient to just say, hey, good job, or hey, nice to meet you, or hey, thanks for sharing. Maybe it's somebody who had a common interest in you, right? Because we have to name something that's interesting about you, or why are you taking this class? I suspect there are a lot of people who are taking this class over the summer, but they really go to a different university and they're going to transfer this in. So maybe the reason you're taking the class is that you're home for the summer and you wanted to continue on your educational journey throughout summer school so that you could get ahead, maybe graduate a semester early. Like, type all of that in, right? And that gives other people something to converse with you about, because there's probably other people in the similar situation. Okay. And then this discussion is going to be worth 10 points total. So you'll get 5 points for your original post and 2.5 points for each of your responses. Okay. You can come to the grades tab here. This will give you a list of all of the assignments, and it will tell you how you've done on them, and make sure that you are prepared and have done those. So your grades from WebAssign are going to transfer automatically. So don't be alarmed if you work on part of the assignment and then it transfers, but then you keep working on it and it'll transfer continuously. Okay. All right. So then I'm not going to go over the remainder of these tabs, but you can look at the policies, Novus policy. You can get to the online tutoring here. There's resources and other things of that nature. So really my big thing here was just to make sure that you all know where to find everything that is online, and making sure that you aren't, that not knowing where something is isn't what is going to make or break you. One thing I do want to come to here and show you is, if you look here, part one, exam one, part two, submission, exam two. So part one, this is where you go in to using the Respondus lockdown browser, you get assigned your exam questions. You work those exam questions on a piece of paper. You then have to scan those papers into, you could take pictures of them or whatever, scan them. You make it into a one document, you save it as a PDF, and then you're going to upload it. You need to save it as your last name, comma, first name, exam one or exam two or exam three, whatever it might be. You want to upload that work. The actual work is what I will grade. I'll download it, I'll grade it, I'll write you feedback on it, I'll submit it back in Canvas with my feedback, so you can see exactly where you lost points. And the one thing I will say is it's very, very, very important that you show as much work as possible. Even if you can't get to the very end solution, it's really important that you show as much work as possible so that I can grade you on partial credit. I cannot give partial credit if you leave the problem completely blank. So again, even if you forget how to finish out a problem, make sure you set it up, you start solving it, so at least you can get a couple of points instead of no points. Okay, so that is in a nutshell kind of where we are as a course overview. We'll have a new module each week, so just be on the lookout. I'll publish those typically at midnight on Monday that the week starts. Look for it. It'll have the videos of the homework problems and such that I'm going to work for you all. And then again, I can't express the importance of looking at those videos that I didn't take out time out of my day to record those videos for nothing. I really think that they will be beneficial to you and help you to be successful in this class. Okay, so if you have any questions, comments, concerns as we go throughout the semester, definitely make sure you reach out to me. You can come over here on the side where there's this inbox. You can send me a message straight from Canvas, or again, you can send me an email. My email's not here, but I will add it. It's shatch@nvcc.edu. So I'll go in after this video and add that in there just so that you have that. But you can also come right here to this inbox and email me directly as well. So again, if you have any questions, comments, anything like that, please don't hesitate to reach out. That is what I'm here for, to help you guys be a success this summer.